Good morning, students. Today, let us start with our first topic of your COA. So, in this, as we know that our subject is computer organization and architecture, let us define and find out the difference between and what is computer organization and computer architecture. So, let us come with a definition of an architecture. Architecture is those attributes visible to the programmer. So what do you mean by architecture is nothing but it is those or attributes which is visible to the programmer. As a programmer, you can able to see the architecture of attributes of your computer. Like for example, instruction set, number of bits used for data representation, I/O input and output mechanisms, addressing techniques. Okay, so these are nothing but a few of the attributes which are visible to the programmer. Okay, example for this one is nothing but, is there a multiplying instruction? To go for multiplication, there is a multiplication instruction is available or not. So that is nothing but your architecture. Coming to the organization, organization is nothing but it is how the features are implemented. Okay, so when we go with an architecture, it is nothing but it is an instruction set. Okay, whereas when you go with an organization, you are going to implement the components. So and how it is been featured, that is known as an organization. Example of organizations are nothing but your control signals, interfaces, okay, and memory technology. So these are nothing but your some examples of your organization. Organization feature, that is nothing but how we are going to implement. Next comes with the example. As in the architecture, we have said that there is a multiply instruction. That is nothing but a multiply instruction is there or not, we have asked in architecture. Whereas in the organization, what we'll be doing here, we will be concentrating on the hardware part. Is there is a hardware multiply unit or not? Whether it is you are going to have a hardware unit or not, or are you using an adder circuit to perform the repeated addition to get the multiplication result. So that is nothing but that is an example of your organization. Architecture comes with a software part where you will be dealing with your instruction set, how many number of bits the data can be represented in, what is I/O mechanism, what are addressing techniques. Whereas in the organization, we will be going to deal with the control signals, interfaces, memory technology. So these are nothing but your organization. So now let us again see that what actually you mean by organization. As you know that Intel has come with the different types of Intel processors. Like for example, i3, i5, okay, i10, so on. There is a dual core to layer. All this processor will be going to have the same architecture. They are going to have the same architecture, but the organization of those components inside the particular processors will be going to differ from one version to another version. In the architecture, all this particular processor will have the same architecture, but the organization of those processors from one version to another version will differ. Okay, you can take Intel, or you can take IBM, or you can take Motorola. Anything you are going to, if you are going to check, organization will be going to differ, whereas architecture will remain the same. Let us come with the two basic definitions. Again, what do you mean by structure and function? A structure is a way in which the components relate to each other. So in the structure, what you will be doing is nothing but you will be using a components, and you will be going to connect from one component to another component. So okay, so that gives you the structure. Whereas function is nothing but it is the operation of the individual components as a part of a structure. So each and every component connecting together is known as a structure. and what is the operation of an each and every component, that is known as a function. Okay, what are the different computer functions are there? Four. There are four different computer functions are available. One is nothing but your data processing, second is nothing but your data storage, and the third one is nothing but your data movement, and the fourth one is nothing but your control signals. What is data processing? A data processing is nothing but a function which is used to process the data, whereas data storage is nothing but it is a function which is used to store the data. What is data movement? A data movement is nothing but it is used to move the data from one part to the another part. What is control signals? A control signal is nothing but it is used to manage or control all the function components. Okay, coming to our functional view of a computer. Okay, so what is the actual functional view of a computer? As just now we have said that there are four functions, computer functions are there. How they are connected we will be going to see. You will be having a data movement apparatus, you will be having the control mechanism, you will be having a data storage facility, and you are going to have the data processing facility. So from all these blocks there will be to and fro signals which will be passing from each data movement apparatus. It will be reaching to the data storage facility, or from data movement apparatus it is moving going to the data processing facility. But internally, in between all these things, you will be going to have a control mechanism which controls the flow of data. Let us take one small basic operation. In our computers, we generally take some will take different operations are there. We will take some operations, basic operations, and we will see that how these functions will be going to act, how the data will be flowing from one component to another component. Let us take the first operation. We are going to use a data movement operation, and this data movement operation is from keyboard to screen. So how this data movement operation from keyboard to screen will be going to happen? First, the data from the keyboard it is given to the data movement apparatus. Okay, then it is given to the control mechanism. Okay, based upon as it is the keyboard is giving, the control mechanism saying that okay, it is an input, so it will read that input. Then what will happen? Again it will need to give back to the screen, so the arrow mark is returning back to the data movement apparatus. This data movement apparatus will be moving the data to the screen. So this is nothing but a basic operation for data movement. Coming to the second operation, which is nothing but a storage operation. How the storage is nothing but your storage operation. Internet to the download to the disk. Okay, so from internet to the disk, and disk how you are going to download, how the function will be going to work. First, the data movement apparatus, data will be collected, then it is given to the control mechanism, then it is given to the data storage facility. So from there, in the data storage facility, it is going to store the data. Coming to a third operation, processing from or to storage. That is something what from the storage we will take the data, we will process it, then we will be going to store the data again back to the storage facility. So how this will be done? Okay, example can be updating your bank statement. Okay, how we are going to do? How we are going to do? So first, from the data storage, you will be going to take the data from and given to the control mechanism. This control mechanism will give the data to the data processing facility. Okay, this data processing facility, this data processing facility will process the data, and then it return back to the data storage facility to store the data. So this is the operation, how this operation takes place. This particular functions will be coming into the picture. Coming to the fourth operation, in the fourth operation is nothing but your processing the storage from processing the data from storage to the I/O, input and output devices, like printing a bank statement. So what you will be doing for printing a bank statement? You'll take the data storage. From the data storage, it will be given to the data processing unit. Our data processing unit will process the data. It will give to the control mechanism. From control mechanism, it will be given to the data movement apparatus. From data movement apparatus, it has been given to the printer to print the data. This is your fourth operation of your I/O. Now let us go with the structural top level. So just now we have seen the functional view. We will be going to see the structure top level. So what actually, when you go with your system, you generally see the computers. Okay, computer will be computer, and for this computer you are going to have the peripherals like input output devices, printers, scanners, mouse, keyboard. Everything will be connected to this computer, and you'll be going to have a communication lines, internet connections you'll be going to have, or you'll be going to have an audio speakers or mic. You'll be going to connect all those things to your computers. Now from computer, what is it in the top level? If I'm going to see the computer, okay, internal to the computer, what you are going to have? So what there are different components are there. So in the structure of your computer, what are the different components? Central processing unit, CPU you'll be going to have in the computer, main memory you're going to have in the computer, and you're going to have the input and output devices for the computer. Okay, and all these components are interconnection. So system interconnection you'll be going to have. So this is, as soon as you go with the computer, if you see in the top level, these are the components you are going to see. Okay, functions you are going to see. Let us get into the CPU part of your computer. In the CPU part of your computer, so as I have told you in the previous slide, here you are going to have a computer. What is the structure of this one? CPU, main memory, system interconnections, input and output. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so what in the previous slide we have seen that computer will have the components as central processing unit, main memory, input and output. These are, and it is all these components are connected together by using the system interconnection. So in this we'll take one part which is known as a central processing unit. So this central processing unit, CPU, again if I am going to refer, we are going to have different components in your CPU. What are those different components in the CPU? Registers, ALU unit, you are going to have the CU control unit. And again these are interconnected, internal CPU interconnections. These are internal CPU interconnections. Okay. Next, if you take in the CPU, let us take with the control unit. In the control unit, what is the internal structure for? We are going to have sequencing logic, control unit register and decoders, and we are going to have the control memory. So this is nothing but the internal structure of your control unit. Okay, so these are nothing but your structures of your computer. First, in the top level structure, what you will be finding? CPU, main memory, input and output. In the second, in the CPU internal structure, you will be going to find the registers, ALU, internal CPU interconnections and control unit. Okay, and for the control unit, again what you are going to have the components or structures: sequencing logic, control unit, registers and decoders. You will be going to have a control memory. Okay, next, in the next class we will be going to see the computer evaluation and performance, and we will be going to come with one topic, so which will be covered in the coming class. Thank you.